Good Morning Portugal radio show with me, Carl Munson, in Portugal, in a little town called Korea. And over in Germany, Portuguese man, Elias Moreira, in Germany this morning. Good morning to you, Elias.
Good morning, Carl. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well. I thought we might look at the weather together, and you can give us a German weather report as well. So let's get the weather on the screen, shall we? And have a look in your capital, or our capital, I should say, as I'm sort of co-opted now. 13 degrees, partly cloudy. I think it's a rainy day all over Portugal by the look of it. Yeah, a rainy Monday mainly. Beja having a little bit of better weather. But generally speaking, the outlook a little bit cloudy and rainy today in Portugal. And yeah, 13 degrees currently in Lisbon, a high of 16. Porto is currently 12, raining there, a high of 14. The rain, of course, bringing a bit of milder weather. Which bit of Portugal are you from originally, Elias?
I'm from Porto.
Oh, are you? Okay, so yeah, in your hometown there, a rainy day. And let's just go to the south. Faro is currently a little bit of sun peeking out from behind the clouds, and a high of 17 expected there. They always get the best of the weather, don't they? And Porto Alegre, don't often go there. 6 degrees at the moment, a little bit of sun, a high of 11. And Stabal, 17-degree high, a nicer day among a fairly sort of grim-looking day ahead in Portugal today. And rain, it looks like, for the rest of the week. What's Germany looking like this morning, Elias?
Really rainy as well.
Oh, it's just a European
It's
thing.
really dark outside, but I'm used to it already. Germany is always rainy.
Yeah, I'm from UK, much the same.
Yeah.
And it's so good to be in Portugal, where it's mainly, they say, don't they? I don't know if you'd agree with this. A lot of people used to say to me when I first got here, 300 days of sunshine. Do you think that's right, or is that like a bit of propaganda from the tourism board?
You mean in Portugal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lie.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll gloss over that then. I'm quite happy.
I mean, it can be if you're from the south, but in Porto, definitely not. No.
No, that's true. Yes, we know that, don't we? If we've been to Porto. But anyway, you're here to talk about your new project where you help young people who are settling in new countries. But I'm sure you can explain it better than me. What's it about? If you could tell us this bit of Portuguese positive news.
Yeah. So basically, I help young adults living abroad to create a great social circle without them having to have the fear of getting judged or to know the language.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just started this because it's a little bit of my own story. Because when I moved abroad first time here to Germany, I struggled with the same things. I had issues to find friends and to just build a social circle here in Germany, because the culture is completely different, the cultural barriers, and yeah, and then I just decided to, now over 4 years I got really good at it, and now I just started to want to do a startup with that and help others to do the same.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of questions straight away then. It's obviously a thing, isn't it? And you've experienced it yourself. And there's definitely a difficulty, but why especially for young people? Because presumably this is a thing for people of all ages that they would grapple with or be anxious about, right?
Yes, of course. It's for all ages struggle with that, of course. I just decided to niche it down to specifically young adults because first of all, I identify myself as a young adult and I can relate better to them, and yeah. I think I can help more those people than necessarily like a little bit of a like 40 plus people. I just niche it down to 20s and 30s because I can relate better to them, and of course I believe that people that live abroad that are a little bit older than 30 also might need help in that sometimes, and but I don't think I could give them the perfect results that they desire, because I hang out in different places than they hang out, and
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, I can understand.
Why.
Yeah, and also they might be harder cases, mightn't they? Because I think the older you get them, the tougher these things get. Well, that's what people say anyway. So it might be good to stick to your niche there. And I think you've got, having had a look at your Facebook page, you've got some unusual tactics and techniques as well, haven't you, for generating this kind of connection to locality. Can you go into a little bit of that with us?
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, how I get people on the phone is by joining like different Facebook groups, and then I just post like some posts that are a little bit engaging, and the people uh, that that send a comment on it or like it, these are normally the people that might be in my target audience, like people that struggle with that, because sometimes I put like a story about myself, and then people who say like, yeah, I like your story. Normally those people are the ones that struggle with that, and then I just contact them and try to get them on the phone call. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
cool.
it works.
Yeah, so that's your marketing strategy, which is pretty good. I meant more when you. I saw a little film, video clip specifically of you clapping in the street, right? Um,
Yeah.
is this a way of? And also, you mentioned like you some of these connections you make and the social gatherings you organize or cause don't involve alcohol, and that's often the social lubrication. Let me put it that way for people. But I'll take my hat off to you for like taking this approach of like it not being about booze and alcohol. So yeah, clapping in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
street and taking a dry approach. What's your thinking there?
Yeah, so basically people live in a haze mode, like they're commuting every day, and oftentimes we think like, oh my god, how do I look like right now? Do I look okay? Right? People looking at me, and we think we are like a superstar in the whole world, and everyone is looking at us and judging us. But in fact, that's not true. No one really cares about you.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to. I call it the cab driver number 29 frame. It's like in the movies when you saw cab driver number 29, please come to the set. Like no one really cares about cab driver 29. They all care about Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
And everyone is Leonardo DiCaprio in their own movie, but in their other movies, you are cab driver number 29. Like no one really cares.
That's so true.
And
And
then I just try to show this. I try to show this with clapping in the street, that like people are, oh my god, you cannot clap here. Are you crazy? It's a shopping street. People gonna look. And then I just clap, and people see, like they look at me for 2 seconds, and then they just keep going to their commuting, and I just want to show people that actually no one cares what you do. So they get a little bit out of their comfort zone.
that's really good, but it works both ways, doesn't it? So on the one hand, it would help you to be more confident to do something like that. But I think you make the point really brilliantly there that we're often far too self-conscious, aren't we? We don't go out, we don't go to social gatherings because we think we might stand out, because we would like to think we look like Leonardo DiCaprio. But we actually don't, do we? And you have to make a little bit of an effort, I suppose.
Yes, we need to, because when we go out by ourselves, especially when we still don't have a great social circle, oftentimes you will be needing to go out yourself by alone, and then people, oh, that's gonna be weird. Like I'm the guy that goes to the gathering alone. What's gonna people think? No one will even notice that you're there. Like if you start socializing when people say, oh, are you here? With whom did you came here? And they say, yeah, I came alone. People are gonna be even like, wow, you came alone. That's really courageous.
Yeah.
And yeah, people think way too much uh, about what other people think of them, and I just want to show them that it's actually not the case. No one cares.
Oh, that's such good advice. And then the other bit with the alcohol, I suppose a lot of people use alcohol to deal with that feeling of self-consciousness and to anesthetize their experience a little bit, which is, I'm not knocking it. I mean, sometimes it's absolutely right to do that, isn't it? And it gives you a little bit of Dutch courage, I think, to bring in another cultural reference. But you're advocating or creating gatherings without alcohol, right?
Yes, yes.
And is that what, because of the
Mhm.
terrible mistakes people make when they are under the influence, and you want to avoid that?
Yeah, yeah. Alcohol, like I used to drink my alcohol myself a lot, especially when I first came to Germany, because it was my first year abroad, like living by myself, and I just decided, yeah, let's drink alcohol. And then I noticed, of course, under the influence of alcohol, you feel really powerful when you're in social interaction. Like that's exactly like how you would like to feel without the influence of alcohol. Like you just
Yeah.
go and talk to the people without even feeling that someone is going to judge you.
Yeah.
And I decided, like, yeah, why can I not do this but without alcohol? That would be much more better. First of all, it would be much more healthier. And if I can teach my mind to be like that without the influence of alcohol when I'm in social gatherings, and I even could control how much of how like I could control if it's getting too much. Like when you're on alcohol, sometimes it gets too much. I
Yes.
could even control that and just be passively drunk. Because of other people being drunk, I can now be drunk passively. I feel I'm drunk, but I'm not, and it helps a lot because it's a habit. It's a build of a habit,
Yes.
and the more you do it, the easier it's gonna be for you in the future. And then you don't need alcohol anymore, and you just are this type of outgoing person that everyone likes, even without the influence of alcohol.
That's really brilliant. And I think a lot of people are getting into that now, aren't they? There's quite a lot of publicity for people who are what's the I don't know what the expression is. It drying out, or which makes it sound a bit extreme, doesn't it? But I think people are realizing that we might be a little bit more moderate with our use of booze. We've had some comments come in, Elias.
Hmm.
The Oriane says hello, good morning, and she's agreeing with I think a lot of what you say. That's really true. People are too busy with themselves to be worried about what either of us look like. Rowan Ford says good morning from the UK. He's not backward in coming forward. And Oriane shares an experience. I had a very weird experience here in Beira, arriving in a small cafe in a very small village, and all people in the cafe staring at us like we were abnormal. Wow, freaking. Well, I think that happens the world over, doesn't it? When you go into a
Yeah.
local cafe.
Yeah, it happens to me. I went to China um, last summer, and it's crazy. Like some Chinese people never saw Europeans in their life because China is so big, so that if you go there, people be like, "Wow, this is an alien." And then I went to, like, especially when you go to smaller towns, not exactly like Shanghai or Beijing. If you go like to smaller towns, which are not small, like 7 million people, but for Chinese standards, it's
Yes,
small. If you go
yes.
there, people sometimes never saw an European. So when I was there, people actually start taking pictures of me and filming me and like looking at me in the metro in it. And I was just thinking it's such a funny situation. I was not feeling uh, like I wasn't feeling bad. I was like feeling like I'm a famous person here.
Yes.
So it always depends on how you take this. Like if you go into an old cafe where old people look at you, maybe they never saw such a handsome boy, or a girl. I don't know, a
That's
pretty
a
girl.
great way of looking at it. And
Yeah.
Dan's watching with us as well from the UK. I'm sure he'd appreciate that one and agree with you. Just a couple more things then, Elias. Uh,
Mhm.
how does it work? If somebody is thinking, yeah, I'd love that, that would really help me, because it can be really lonely, kind of being in a new country
Mhm.
when you're young and alone. And on the upside, it's like, yay, I'm going to go abroad and have a great time. And then when you're there for a few days or weeks, it's like, oh, this isn't quite as I imagined it. I'm feeling a bit lonely. How do you work with people to overcome that?
Mhm. Yeah. First of all, I need to get them on a call, on a free consultation call, because I need to know the person. I need to see what kind of situation they are right now, and
Yeah,
how exactly, if I could help them. It's like I cannot help everybody. So first of all, I need to know them, and then what we do is I try to build together with the prospect. I try to build a step-by-step system, but together we're gonna do that. We build a step-by-step system to get you from point A to point B in the most effective way. And
yeah,
I do this by asking a lot of questions. So we tailor the best step-by-step system for your specific situation. And then when we agree to work together on, we just have like weekly Zoom calls like this, and where I give the person some exercises what he can implement, and also always a little bit of a mindset brainwashing, because I think this is something that you have to do over and over again,
yeah.
because yeah, as I said, it's building habits. And yeah, and mainly I keep the person accountable and push them to actually go out and do social interactions, because a lot of times people know what they have to do, but they don't have like the leverage. They don't have the person that is behind them pushing them, like asking, "Did you do it today?" And then the person said, "Yeah, today I stayed at home watching Netflix." Then I'm gonna be there. Sometimes have to kick their ass, just feel really pushy and say like, "Hey, man, what did we agree on?" And yeah, that's basically how it works.
But it's like a life coaching role, but specifically for people who are abroad and maybe feeling a bit lonely and wanting to connect better.
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. And I'm guessing your clients, as well as the direct people you work with, might be parents as well, because if you're worried about your young son or daughter being away and being lonely, you'd be a great guy to employ, from the parents' point of view, to work with their child.
You mean if I could help parents to?
No, I'm thinking like, who's the customer here? And this is a service that I think would be of interest to a lot of parents, because they don't want to think of their son or daughter being lonely. And here's, it doesn't matter. It's exactly what you said. If the mum or dad says, "Did you get out today? Did you meet people?" And the truth is, as you've put it, they've sat on the sofa and watched Netflix all day. They're not going to take that well from their parents, but they might take it better from you, who's a contemporary, who's in the same age range and so on.
Yeah, definitely, yes, yeah.
Yeah, you might need to speak to a few more parents, and and they'll employ you directly. They're the ones with the money as well, Elias.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is, when I would talk to parents. I think this decision needs to come from the person itself. Like they need to feel the pain point. Like when they feeling like they are lonely, or when they
Yeah.
feel that they are struggling with connecting to people, then I can help them. Because if the problem is not there yet, if it's like over a way to ask the parents, "Do you think your child is a little bit has difficulties in connecting to people?" And then the parents said like, "Yeah, we really think that." The parents, they are trying to get into the life of the child,
Yeah.
but I think the child needs to take the decision himself
You're
or
absolutely
herself.
right. You're absolutely right. And it's always the way with coaching, isn't it? It has to be motivated by the person.
Or not even the child, like I said, 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. I can still see a role for putting your business cards in those food parcels that parents send, though. But anyway, I maybe one final question. This goes back to what Oriane was saying. And of course, because you're Portuguese, you might be able to help here. This is I've experienced this as well, and it's not a complaint. It's just, it's like you would expect, like in the middle of China where people haven't seen a European. If you go to some villages in Portugal and people don't see an outsider from day to day, and you arrive, of course they're going to look at you. But as a Portuguese man and understanding the Portuguese culture as you do, what would be the best thing to say or do when you arrive in a remote town or village in Portugal if you want to break the ice?
Yeah, first of all, what I would do in that case, just be really engage with everyone that you see, like say good morning to literally everybody that you see. If it's a village, like the probability that you're going to see that person again is really high. So the sooner you open up to them, the easier you will start making a social circle there. And secondly, I would maybe visit a little bigger town close to that village, so you can also build a social circle there, and it's not that far from your village.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I would not just stay in the village. The village is good if you want a little bit of time for yourself and relax and just do your daily stuff. But if you want to build a social circle that might even come to visit you in that village, I would go to the bigger cities where people actually hang out, and you have more more people that might fit to your wave, to your frequency.
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you for that. I always find children help as well. I've got 3 children, and whenever we go to a cafe where we're strangers, the children always help us break the ice. And I think you're absolutely right as well. Just saying "Olá, bom dia," boa tarde to people is really, you got to reach out, haven't you? I think
What was the last question?
it's just good to learn a little bit of the language and reach out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
When I'm going to the bus in Germany, when I went to the bus here in Germany, I every day I greeted the bus driver, "Good morning, how are you?"
Yeah.
In German.
Very good. Yeah. Guten Morgen, wie geht es Ihnen?
Yeah, exactly.
Showing off with the 5 German words I know. And Oriane comes back to her. She says, after the shock of being stared at, I said hi, and finally they were talking with us in French. There you go. Absolutely brilliant, Oriane. That's the way to do it. Yeah, and I know that a lot of older Portuguese people do speak French, so there is a way of reaching out there if the English connection is not so great. Elias, how do people get in touch with you if they want to use your service or find out some more?
I using only Facebook and LinkedIn. So yeah, my Facebook is Elias Moreira, and LinkedIn Elias Moreira as well. So just send me a DM there or private message, and we can see if I can help you.
Good luck to you, mate. You're doing a great job. I really appreciate it. That's why I wanted to speak to you. So yeah, all the best. Boa sorte with your new venture.
Thank you, man.
And my Portuguese word of the day is abraços, which is an appropriate thing to say to you, right, at the end of a call.
Yeah, it's hugging. Yeah, hugs.
Which you might not get away with so easily in Germany. I don't know. Maybe in Berlin, not so much elsewhere. I don't know.
It meant more like a handshake in Germany.
Have a great day, mate.
You too, man.
Thank you.